Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today we continue our series building decks around the new legendary creatures from Dominaria United. This series will probably continue for a while, at least until Infinity spoiler season starts. Today's deck, as I'm sure you've gleaned from the title, is led by Zeriam Goldenwind. Before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. I've been very happy with the growth this channel has had so far, and I'm excited to see where we're going. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. One of the tiers is specifically set up for Commander. For only $25, I will build you a custom Commander deck based around your specifications, and even do a deck video on it. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Zeriam Goldenwind is a 4-mana 3/4 legendary griffin with flying. They also have a triggered ability. Whenever a griffin we control deals combat damage to a player, we create a 2/2 white griffin creature token with flying. At first, I dismissed this commander. I searched on Scryfall for other griffins, and was disappointed in them. Griffins are a poorly represented tribe in Magic's history, and a lot of the cards are simply bad. But then I reread the card. Zeriam doesn't care if the griffin that dealt damage is a token or not. And it makes tokens. And it's each time a griffin deals damage. So that got me thinking. Zeriam Goldenwind won't be a griffin tribal deck. It'll be a mono-white stacks deck that wins by killing our opponents with griffins. Now, before you go disliking the video and leaving a comment about how stacks is evil and no one should ever play it, let me explain. This is not a fast deck, so in order to be competitive, we need to slow our opponents down. We don't need to shut them down completely, just ensure they're not exploding out of nowhere and winning on turn 5 or 6. In my opinion, stacks does not mean prison. A prison deck seeks to lock people out from playing the game, running cards like Winter Orb or Stasis, or Decree of Silence combined with Solemnity. We're not going for that here. All we're doing is slowing the game down for a few turns in order to build up an army of griffins. Now, that being said, this will not be a budget list. I decided to have some fun with this one and not limit myself. That being said, there are no cards on the reserve list here, so the deck wound up being under $500. And, with a couple of exceptions, almost every card in the deck is under $25. But before we get to our deck list, we should keep in mind our checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. To start, and to ease your mind, let's take a look at our stacks pieces. Drannith Magistrate stops any of our opponent's commanders from coming into the battlefield. Grand Abolisher stops them from casting spells on our turn, which is more protection than actual stacks. Authority of the Consuls and Blind Obedience slow our opponents down and give us quite a bit of life gain. I've played many games where Authority gained me over 20 life over the course of a few turns. Damping Sphere shuts down Spellslinger decks, but let's be honest, they're a bit overpowered anyway. Rule of Law does the same thing, making the game slow down quite a bit. Wandering Archaic also slows the game down, or lets us cast some of those delicious tutors or green mana ramp from our opponents. Finally, Elish Norn both pumps our creatures and shrinks our opponent's creatures. Our spot removal consists of Tormod's Crypt for Graveyard Gate, Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, Disenchant, Darksteel Mutation, Heliod's Intervention, Generous Gift, Return to Dust, and Crush Contraband. For board wipes, we're running Vanquish the Horde, Hour of Reckoning, and Farewell, which serves as our second piece of graveyard hate. For card advantage, we've got Enlightened Tutor, Open the Armory, Idyllic Tutor, and Moonblessed Cleric as tutors, Savine's Reclamation, Karmic Guide, and Sun Titan as graveyard recursion, and Esper Sentinel, Mentor of the Meek, Smuggler's Share, Mangara the Diplomat, and Court of Grace as additional card draw. I know that Court of Grace only draws us one card, but we'll just be sure to attack whoever the Monarch is. For mana ramp, we're running Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Marble Diamond, Fel Warstone, Mind Stone, and Thought Vessel for mana rocks. To fetch extra lands, we're running Land Tax, Wayfarer's Bauble, Knight of the White Orchid, Sword of the Animist, Burnished Heart, and Solemn Simulacrum. For treasure generation, we're running Monologue Tax and Smothering Tithe. Our lands consist of Rogue's Passage, Emeria the Sky Ruin, and 34 planes. Now, we absolutely need to keep our commander safe. So to protect them, we're running Ephemerate, Swift Foot Boots, Lightning Greaves, and Eerie Interlude. Additionally, once we create a board full of Griffin tokens, we'll want to keep them alive as well. So we're running Teferi's Protection, Flawless Maneuver, Unbreakable Formation, and Akroma's Will, which of course doubles as a Sudden I Win card. Now, onto the core of our deck. Anointed Procession to double our tokens. Lithoform Engine to double Zeriam's Trigger. Duelist's Heritage and True Conviction to give our creatures double strike. Remember, Zeriam's Trigger is on damage. Inspiring Leader to make our tokens bigger. Mirror Entity to pump the squad. Cathar's Crusade to make all of our creatures huge. Coat of Arms to end the game. And finally, Helm of the Host, which quickly gets out of control with Zeriam, but can also be really funny if we put it on an Elesh Norn. Any one of these cards on the board, and we're doing pretty good. With two of them, the game quickly gets out of control. But before we wrap up, we should look at our finished deck list and compare it to our checklist. 50 mana sources split between 36 lands and 14 pieces of ramp, right on target. 12 pieces of card advantage, including 4 tutors. 9 pieces of spot removal. 3 board wipes. 2 pieces of graveyard hate. 2 Sudden I Win cards in Akroma's Will and Coat of Arms. So our deck checks all the boxes and is a blast to play. Yes, we've got some powerful pieces in this deck, some of the strongest in white, but our win con is beating people to death with Griffin tokens. I was thinking of going with a Voltron sub-theme, but decided it would be more fun to win with as little equipment as possible. How are you building Zeriam Golden Wind? Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons, Jiraiya, Waffles, Muffins, Casey, Danny, Nick, Marcus, and Black Dragon. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander Deck videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or you can click here to watch additional videos. Also, if you're a fan of anime and manga like I am, feel free to check out my other channel, Musings by Danon. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.